Hello and welcome to the internet. I'm your host, Detractor Media. So, as some of you may know, KingCobraJFS has passed away. His father found him unresponsive on the floor of his apartment yesterday morning. He was rushed to the hospital and he passed. It's believed that it probably was organ failure because of his heavy drinking and his diet. But I want to touch on a couple of things here because I've always wanted to cover King Cobra, but I always felt that he wasn't lolcowy enough for my content. I watched some stuff that he did. I would watch some of his little day-to-day activities, and I never found him weird enough, right? He never seemed like he was malicious in the things that he did. He would cook really weird stuff and he would eat it. He would make really gross meads and then he would eat them. But I never saw him being a threat to anybody. He didn't e-bag like DSP. He didn't say racist shit like all of them do. He wasn't being a child predator like Raven's Dolphin and Nova Online and Jupiter and all. He never seemed to outwardly be a threat to anyone but himself, truthfully speaking. So I never understood the bullying that he had to endure. I never got that. And like I said, I always wanted to cover him, but I never felt that his content needed any real commentary. He just spoke for himself. You got everything that you needed from him from watching him, right? He was just a weird dude that was in his lane, man. He stayed in his lane. He was cooking quite literally. He's just doing his thing. I found this article, the Express Tribune. It covers King Cobra, and it says, Joshua King Cobra JFS Saunders, the YouTuber and musician who built a cult following online, has died at the age of 34. His father revealed that Joshua likely passed in his sleep after years of health struggles and heavy drinking. While the coroner has not yet issued an official cause of death, the family suggested his lifestyle may have played a significant role. Keep in mind, he was eating a lot of fast food all the time. When he cooked stuff, it didn't look like it was good for him, right? The stuff that he ate never looked good or healthy. And then also people were sending him alcohol. I didn't learn about this until earlier when I found out secondhand that he had passed. I went on Reddit and I went on Kiwi Farms. And surprisingly, if you know anything about Kiwi Farms, I am on there every now and again. I just check every now and again. It's usually really toxic. But the stuff that I saw about King Cobra, about Josh, was all positive. It was all like, man, rest in peace. I can't believe he's gone. I think people genuinely were drawn to Josh because he was a lolcow, but he wasn't a bad person. Like, I think that people were drawn to him because he was such an individual. He had such character. He was unapologetically himself. But like I said, he was never disgusting outwardly. He didn't shower and stuff, but he was never, like I said, a threat to anybody or just, he didn't have disgusting rhetoric that he pushed and didn't e-beg. So people were genuinely drawn to him. And I think a lot of people wanted to see King Cobra be better. I think a lot of people wanted to see Josh get out of the situation he was in, find some sort of rehab or whatever, and try to better himself. I mean, the guy's 34 years old. He was found on the floor of his apartment, unresponsive, by his father. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about being a father, walking into your son's house to check in on him, and finding him unresponsive on the floor. Imagine how tough that is. And there is a video that Josh's father, Clint, posted where he officially announces that Josh had passed. I watched it earlier. It's really hard to get through. As you would probably guess, he was extremely emotional. And so I'm going to round off this video with that clip of Josh's father, Clint, announcing. And so, I mean, we can look through this article, but a lot of it covers most of the stuff that we already knew. That he was harassed his whole life. That he had a serious problem with alcohol. He was being bullied. He dealt with depression, low self-confidence. And so the article doesn't really go over anything that we don't really know. But I think it is important to go over this last part. For supporters, Joshua's death represents not only the loss of a unique character, but also a reflection of how internet culture can amplify personal battles. As investigations continue, his passing remains a sobering reminder of the human toll behind digital notoriety. I hate to see it, man. I hate to see a guy, he's around my age, you know. I hate to see a guy that struggled his whole life like that go out in such a way, go out drinking. He pretty much drank himself to death, right? And it's the same thing I said with Music Biz Marty when he passed in, was it February, I believe? I said the same thing with Marty. It's a goddamn shame that these folks are dying as young as they are. You know, internet stuff is internet stuff. Let it be that. Leave these people alone in real life. People are mailing bottles of alcohol to Josh when they knew that he had a serious alcohol problem. Leave these folks alone. I've said this multiple times. You don't want to show up to somebody's house. You don't want to, what did I say in that video a couple weeks ago? You don't want to get shot in the face by Cyrax. You know what I mean? Don't show up to these people's houses. Leave them alone in real life. Let internet stuff be internet stuff. But I never got the bullying behind King Cobra. I just never got it. Other than the fact that he was dirty and he was weird. But like, okay, I'm weird. I'm not dirty, but I'm weird. Like, a lot of people are weird. That's a pretty common thing. So I hate to see somebody cut their life short so early. And I especially hate it for his father. I know that he had a very strained relationship with Clint. They didn't always see eye to eye. It's just a goddamn shame. That's all I can think to say. It's just a goddamn shame when people die this young. Marty died because he had a drug addiction. King Cobra died because he had an alcohol addiction. If you need help that badly, please reach out to somebody. Please reach out to somebody and tell somebody. Like, that's so unavoidable. 34 years old, man. Never experienced marriage, never really experienced any sense of true love, never had kids, got to grow old, none of that stuff. But at the same time, with King Cobra, the writing was on the wall, right? I think we can all agree, for better or for worse, regardless of how you felt about KingCobraJFS, the writing had been on the wall for a long time. That if he didn't make any serious changes, and again, the same thing applies with Marty. If he didn't make any serious changes, something drastic was going to happen. We all knew that this was the case, that the writing was quite literally on the walls. And I think some of this also has to do with Ozzy passing a couple of weeks ago, because we also know that Josh really, really, really looked up to Ozzy Osbourne. And whether we understand it or we don't understand it, I think him passing had a huge toll on Josh. King Cobra, for better or for worse, brother, there would never be another one like you. There will never be another person on YouTube like you, truly. So rest in peace to King Cobra. To his father, Clint, my heart goes out to you. I know he probably wasn't the best father to King Cobra. He didn't set the best example, but at the end of the day, he is still a father who is grieving the loss of his son. And it's just a shame. It's truly a shame. So Clint, my heart goes out to you. King Cobra, long live. Rest in power, brother. And I'll leave you with the clip of King Cobra's father, Clint, making the announcement that Josh had passed and saying goodbye to Josh in this video. Thank y'all for watching. I've been your host, not King Cobra. I've been your host, Detractor Media. Thank y'all for watching, and realize that this internet bullshit is exactly that, man. We're just here to have fun. We're here to talk shit about people that we don't like on the internet or people that we do like. But at the end of the day, let's realize that this stuff that we put on the internet is just bullshit. It's exactly that. The stuff that we put on the internet is bullshit. Don't wish negative things on these folks, because the hate in your heart is going to consume you too. You know what I mean? So in closing, I'll leave you with a fundraiser in the description for Josh's funeral expenses and a video of Josh's father, Clint, making the announcement that Josh has passed and then saying goodbye to his son. Thank you guys for watching. I've been your host, Detractor Media. Y'all be good or be good at it, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hello, I'm Josh's dad, and there's a lot of rumors going around, so I wanted to make a video for Josh. I went to Josh's house yesterday to take him to the doctor, and when I got there, he was sleeping. I tried to wake him up. He was not responsive or breathing. I realized that his lips were blue, and I tried to revive him. But he was already dead. I got on today to delete all of his social media because fuck you is how I'm feeling. But I realized that would not be fair to his fans, and it's certainly nothing he would want. As you all know, Josh was harassed and bullied terribly his whole life. I mean, from the time he was 3, it was just nonstop. It's like he had a neon sign that said, "Please pick on me." And for some reason, so many people on this earth felt that picking on him was okay. That just because it's him, it made it all right. And that he didn't matter. But he did matter. And I want to thank all his fans, because you made him feel like he mattered. And you made him feel very special. And he lived for you guys every day. Josh struggled a lot with depression and was extremely suicidal most of his life. And you guys helped more than you could ever know. Because you made him feel like a person. I can never repay you for that. Thank you for supporting him, for encouraging him, for all the gifts you sent, for the people who helped him produce his music and his wands. Thank you so much. As you know, Josh was extremely stubborn and wouldn't let me help him with anything, because he had to do it on his own, and I get that and I respect that. Those of you who know Josh, you know how kind he was. Anybody who came to visit him in person can testify that he was such a beautiful, beautiful soul. He would help anybody. He would invite anybody in to have a beer. He would treat everybody like they were a family. And he was kind. And he was especially kind with elderly people and animals and all of insects. God, we weren't even allowed to kill insects. We had to save them. He was just a good soul. And if you can, raise a glass today for Josh. This doesn't have to be alcohol, especially given these circumstances. We don't know how he died. He died in his sleep. There's going to be an autopsy, and they think it's probably something like his appendix or liver. So if you can today, raise a glass for Josh. I don't know if it would be appropriate to do alcohol, but that's what Josh would do. Struggled a lot after he lost his best friend. Well, and after Ozzy died, he's just really, really struggling, and he started drinking so much. But raise a glass to him today sometime. You can go one better and make it a combo. Put two things together that no one in their right mind would want to drink. That's what Josh would do. Please do not send me any private messages. I won't read them. I will simply block. If you have any positive things you'd like to say, or comments, or memories you'd like to share about Josh, please do it here on his page, and please respect my family's privacy. All hail Ozzy. Hail Satan. Fuck suicide. Fuck sickos. Long live Joshua Faye Saunders, JFS. I think King Cobra. I love you, man. I'm gonna miss you so much.